Eagle Angle. Eagle Film wins awards.
A racist act of vandalism is felt by the Oklahoma Christian campus.
And President Trump has yet to concede the election.
All this and more on Eagle Angle.
Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle, a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University. I'm Reagan Meyer.
I'm Elijah Johnson. Last Thursday, Oklahoma Christian's Literature and Language Department released the 2020 edition of Soundings, OC's Literary and Visual Arts Journal. Students submitted poems, short stories, photos, and art pieces to be featured in the journal. Soundings then distributed the published final copy for free. Soundings' long legacy of creativity extends back 50 years. Ever since, they have strived to encourage arts on campus through events and contests throughout the years. The Soundings Journal will soon accept submissions for 2021, so be on the lookout for a chance to feature your work.
For the past week, Oklahoma Christian hosted a skating rink for students at the athletic building parking lot in the wake of Fall Fest and Homecoming. Open skate nights were held every night from 8 to 10 p.m. for all students. But on Sunday, November 8th, the skating rink was only for seniors celebrating their November 2020 or May 2021 graduations. Students could skate, drink coffee from the brew, and get alumni gifts and Day 6 swag. The send-off lasted from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. with an open skate afterwards until 10. Skating is unfortunately no longer offered for the remainder of the semester, but students had fun while they could.
This year, Eagles' film new short, Assisted Living, has won multiple awards at the Bare Bones Film Festival, San Angelo Revolution Film Festival, Clean Shorts Festival, and the Sunny Side Up Festival. It also won the Made in Oklahoma short category at the new Will Rogers Film Festival. Samantha Nelson has more.
Oklahoma Christian is making strides this year, from making changes for music to its graphic design success, and now to a recent win for Eagle Film. The film Assisted Living won multiple awards this year, including Best Dramedy, Best Actor in a Short, Best Comedy, and Best Oklahoma Soil Film at various film festivals. The film took roughly the entire spring semester to produce and even longer to edit and submit into the festivals. Nehemiah Knox, affectionately called Nemo, was the editor for the film and said it was quite a process.
Every year we get into different festivals, but there was roughly 5 or 6 that we typically get in every time, and then from there was a lot of new ones that we get into. Like, for instance, I think Assisted Living got into a couple of film festivals that none of our other films have ever gotten into. That's really good for the program, and it's also really exciting for us because that opens new doors and allows us to connect with different people that we did not have access to previously.
Assisted Living is about a young man named Ryan who loses his job and his apartment, resulting in his mom signing him up for a free housing program. The catch? He's now living in an assisted living community. The film combines heart and humor in a way that has captured Oklahoma's attention. Nehemiah's role is always to help the students complete the films. Assisted Living was the last film he had a primary role in. Nowadays, he's only brought in to help students finish when they graduate or go home for break. Overall, though, Professor Journey was the producer, Nehemiah the editor, and the students did the rest. Eagle Film doesn't plan on sitting on its recent win, however, but continuing on with even more projects.
Well, we have 2 other films that are still being done. I believe one of them is 10 Minutes, and then another one is coming up called Messages, and then we're also gearing up for next spring, hopefully, to be able to shoot another film, but with the COVID situation, we may not be able to do so just because of how things are going.
Congratulations to Eagle Film on their recent wins and their dedication to preparing students for future jobs in their chosen careers. This is Samantha Nelson reporting for Eagle Angle.
Last Saturday morning, former Vice President Joe Biden reached 207 electoral votes as he has declared victory in an election that appears to be a repudiation against sitting President Donald Trump. Currently, he holds 279 electoral votes after winning Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Nevada. Some supporters of the current president insist there is still a chance for Trump to win, claiming that there was widespread voter fraud relating to mail-in ballots. There are votes still being counted in Alaska, Illinois, Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, California, and Maryland. Here on campus, 2 Oklahoma Christian students share their take on the election results.
So I think right now, one of the most important things is that this election is far from over. I know that both sides can say what they like, but at the end of the day, there are so many lawsuits pending right now in various states, especially key swing states that were tight races. We're talking about Georgia, we're talking about Pennsylvania, we're talking about Arizona, we're talking about Wisconsin. We're talking about states that were needed for each campaign to become the president-elect. And so right now, I think we just need to keep a close eye on those states, those swing states, and what the courts are going to say in response to all the lawsuits that are pending in those states. And that whatever the response is, if after those court cases it does overturn something and goes in favor of President Trump, then we need to be peaceful about that victory or those results, and vice versa with Republicans, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I think that's very important. If they went and are confirmed and inaugurated in January, then we have to respect those results, and we have to go about it and work on making sure that we unite the country.
Personally, I viewed it surprising. Clearly, I was not expecting a few states to turn a different shade, but overall pleased with the results due to that. I understand that border control is still necessary, but there should also be a clever use towards how to make citizenship a better way to obtain it for immigrant families who have waited years for it. It usually takes more than 10 or less than 10, depending on the family stance. But that's my hope for the next 4 years.
For any students who need housing once the semester ends, Oklahoma Christian is opening the campus over the break. The cost per week is $125, and Thanksgiving break from the 21st to the 29th is free. To sign up, log into MyOC and search for winter break housing and choose the number of days you wish to stay. Sign-ups are only open until next Friday, November 13th, so sign up soon. Charges will apply to your student account the following day. If you have any questions, contact Residence Life at housing@oc.edu.
Over 2 weeks ago, an Oklahoma Christian student was subject to a racist and hateful act of vandalism on the back window of his car. The act was brought to light with a tweet by OC social club Delta Gamma Sigma. The post gained traction quickly, with many wanting answers from the university. Delta member Zachary Hill had this to say about the incident.
Well, I mean, I was completely taken off guard. Like, obviously, especially here, like, that's something I would have never even imagined, you know, like, especially like being at a Christian university, you know, like I kind of want to hold them to a higher standard than anybody else. And just like an incident like that, like I didn't think anybody in this community would just do something so heinous.
Chief Communications Officer Risa Forrester provided Eagle Angle with this statement regarding the vandalism. The university absolutely denounces this racist incident as unacceptable. Hate has no place on our campus. The racist act was reported by the victim to Assistant Dean of Students Gary Jones and to campus police. Gary Jones filed a Title VI report on behalf of the victim. Campus police began investigating immediately by checking cameras in all OC parking lots. No evidence was found. No other similar incidents have been reported, and unfortunately they don't have any leads at this time. If any member of the campus community has information, please contact campus police at 405-425-5055 or campuspolice@oc.edu. If a student, faculty, or staff member experiences or witnesses an act of racial hate or discrimination on campus, they're encouraged to contact a Title VI advocate. Advocates will walk the complainant through the process, which is designed to protect students against discrimination.
If you have any stories that you would like us to report on, please send an email to our producer at will.hadley@eagles.oc.edu. And now for our national news. After a weekend of celebrations, the Biden-Harris team is getting to work. The president-elect's team has plans to tackle top priorities starting today. Meanwhile, President Trump has yet to concede the race. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a recap of the weekend's developments and a look at what's next.
After a weekend of celebrations, President-elect Joe Biden plans to assume a role as healer-in-chief of a nation struggling with the coronavirus pandemic and its economic consequences.
He's done it in his personal life through unimaginable tragedy, and now he's going to do it for the American people.
With many of President Trump's supporters unwilling to accept last week's results, Biden, in his victory speech Saturday night, extended a hand to those 71 million Americans who did not vote for him.
I've lost a couple times myself, but now, let's give each other a chance.
Some members of the Biden-Harris team approaching the challenges of this transition like those during the one between George W. Bush and Barack Obama in 2008, when the nation was mired in the Great Recession.
This morning, the Biden team announced a 12-person coronavirus task force.
What I can tell you right now today is that Joe Biden is going to make good on his promises on the campaign trail.
Meanwhile, as President Trump shows no signs of conceding and continues to make baseless accusations of electoral fraud, the Biden-Harris team and even a few Republicans are ready to move on.
I don't think we're going to see anything that's going to overturn this election, and I haven't seen any evidence of widespread. You know, this is the way our system works. Whether you like it or not, it's time to get behind the winner of the race.
The number of new daily coronavirus cases continues to climb here in the U.S., so does the number of people hospitalized, and medical experts are gravely concerned as a rise in hospitalizations typically leads to a rise in the death toll. Karen Caifa has the latest from Washington.
With cases climbing past the 1 million mark, Texas now has reported more COVID-19 cases than entire countries like Mexico and Germany. The state's medical professionals are feeling the strain.
I think the biggest word is just fatigue. And there's some frustration. I mean, the fact that we are here isn't where anybody wanted to be.
It's a similar situation across the country as U.S. COVID-19 hospitalizations on Tuesday topped 60,000 for the first time during the pandemic.
Remember, our ICU units do not take care of only COVID-19. We have patients who need ICUs. We have patients who need the hospitals. We have cancer, we have diabetes, we have cardiovascular diseases. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on us.
Despite promising news this week about Pfizer's vaccine trials, former CDC Director Tom Frieden warning Americans can't let up on precautions like masks and social distancing.
A vaccine is really important, and the news is very encouraging, but vaccination is not going to be a fairy tale ending to the pandemic.
The nation's top infectious diseases expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, encouraging Americans to hang on.
There's a real thing called COVID-19 fatigue. That's understandable. We understand how difficult that is. But hang in there a bit longer. Do the thing you need to do, and we'll be okay.
The U.S. has now surpassed 10 million coronavirus cases since the pandemic began, per Johns Hopkins University data. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
As the coronavirus pandemic keeps spreading across the country, there's another push to kill the Affordable Care Act. If the law from Obama's administration is struck down, millions of Americans could lose their health care. John Lurick reports.
The U.S. Supreme Court hearing arguments over the Affordable Care Act.
God save the United States and this honorable court.
Trump administration lawyers and GOP state attorneys general say a 2017 congressional amendment that eliminates the penalty for failing to get insurance invalidates the law altogether. Lawyers supporting the ACA say Obamacare can't survive without that mandate. Chief Justice John Roberts appears to agree with the latter.
I think it's hard for you to argue that Congress intended the entire act to fall if the mandate were struck down when the same Congress that lowered the penalty to zero did not even try to repeal the rest of the act.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh, a Trump appointee, says Obamacare could survive if the amendment were removed.
This is a very straightforward case for severability under our precedents, meaning that we would excise the mandate and leave the rest of the act in place.
Legal analysts say comments like these make it appear that Obamacare is not in critical condition.
It's a pretty good sign there are at least 5 votes, including Kavanaugh, the Chief Justice, the 3 progressives, to leave the rest of the ACA intact. That's going to be a big sigh of relief for millions of Americans.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
That'll be all for your national news. Stay tuned because Daniel Hart has your Eagle Angle weather report right after this break.
Tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Recently, the western U.S. has averaged more than 1,900 earthquakes and 3,800 significant wildfires each year. So chances are there will be more of both near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Good day, Oklahoma. I'm Daniel Hart here with your Eagle Angle weather report. Make sure to get those jackets back out as we move closer to the winter season. It is currently 61 degrees and sunny here in Edmond, Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures around Oklahoma today. In Sallisaw, it is at 65 degrees. Ada is at 66. Ardmore is at 70. Altus at 69. Oklahoma City is at 63. And then finally, Guymon at 49. And now for tonight's temperatures. Tonight it is going to be 45 degrees with some winds coming in from the southeast at 5 miles an hour. And humidity is going to be up at 75%. This is what our weekend is going to look like. This weekend is going to be cloudy in the mid-60s, and we do expect a 30% chance of rain. And finally, here's your 5-day forecast. Thursday is going to be sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 34. Friday, we do expect some evening showers with a high of 55 and a low of 46. Saturday, it is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 43. Sunday is going to be sunny with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. And then Monday is going to be exactly like Sunday. It is going to be sunny with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. And that'll do it for this week's Eagle Angle Weather Report. We'll be right back because Jojo Martinez is in the entertainment corner.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Good evening, I'm Jojo Martinez here in the Entertainment Corner. Making headlines today, Brad Pitt and Oprah Winfrey are teaming up to produce a film adaptation of The Water Dancer. The novel was written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and follows Hiram Walker, an African-American man born into slavery who develops superhuman abilities after surviving a carriage accident. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Coates said, "We all believe MGM is the best home for this adaptation and look forward to bringing it to life." The film is set to begin production in early 2021. Impressing fans yet again, Apple's latest live event showcased new productions and, most interestingly, the revolutionary M1 chip. The event was live streamed yesterday and in the aftermath of the company's best-selling quarter for MacBooks. According to the Wall Street Journal, the company unveiled new M1-powered versions of its MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, and Mac Mini lines, but it will continue to sell some of the Intel-based models for the next year or two. Apple did not announce any new iMacs on Tuesday. The new models can be ordered now and will ship next week. David Fincher, the award-winning and visionary director of Seven, Gone Girl, and Fight Club, gave a grim forecast regarding the future of film. In a recent interview with Total Film magazine, Fincher bluntly gave his opinion on the state of Hollywood in 2020. Unless you're making a tentpole movie that has a Happy Meal component to it, no one's interested. He went on to outline concerns over the excessive dominance of the big-budget superhero genre and that modestly funded films may not last long into the future. Fincher's interview was conducted while on a promotional tour for his latest film, Mank, which is scheduled for a limited theatrical release November 13th and later streaming on Netflix starting December 4th. And that is your Eagle Angle Entertainment Corner. And now, Trinity Carpenter has your sports report.
I'm Trinity Carpenter, and this is your Eagle Angle Sports Report. On Saturday, the Ultimate Team played in 2 scrimmages against the University of Oklahoma. In the first scrimmage, OC started off slow as OU would take an early lead and go into half with a 6-2 lead over the Eagles. In the second half, the Eagles would begin to battle back, outscoring the Sooners 6-5, but that was not enough as the Sooners would end up taking the first game 11-8. In the second game, OC would control the lead, heading into the half up 6-4. But in the second half, the Sooners would battle all the way back and end up winning the game 11-10. Oklahoma Christian's Ultimate Team is excited for the upcoming season and to be able to bring the sport to OC. On Monday, the NBA Players Association agreed on a start of the 2020 to 2021 season. The season will start on the 22nd of December, and the season will consist of 72 games instead of 82. With the season now starting just around the corner, the NBA free agency period will start on the 22nd of November. Negotiations will be able to take place on the 20th of November, and there is still no details if the NBA season will take place in the bubble or if they will be allowed if they will allow teams to play on their own stadiums. That's all for your Eagle Angle Sports Report. Stay tuned for this week's faculty feature.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk. No matter what you're going through, I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
The This year's final faculty feature focuses on Dr. Bobby Kern, an associate professor of family science. He's known on campus not only for teaching all the family science students, but also for his work for the Down Syndrome Association of Central Oklahoma. Samantha Nelson has the story.
From teaching, serving his church, and acting as president of the Down Syndrome Association of Central Oklahoma, Dr. Bobby Kern has a lot on his plate. His work as an associate professor of family science at Oklahoma Christian means that he teaches every course for the 2-degree plans within the major. Although he has a passion for education, Kern says his real joy is getting to know his students.
When my students come to me outside of class and they just want to talk and they just want to hang out, I love it so much.
Kern says that this job always drives change in other ways.
We're able to take those things that we're learning and we're able to create great programming for families. And so community looks to us to say, hey, we need help with marriage education or with parent education. We need help with kids who are maybe impoverished at their school and need help with nutrition or those types of things. And we're able to provide those resources. We're able to point them in directions that will help in. We're able to help shape policy around things that impact families and benefit families.
Most of all, Kern wants his students to know that faith and science are not diametrically opposed. Kern said that he has experienced peace and comfort from God firsthand, especially when it comes to supporting his family. Dr. Kern certainly uses his trials to help others and support his students. This is Corey Price reporting for Eagle Engle.
The semester here has quickly come to a close, and students are beginning to flock back to their hometowns for winter break.
Eagle Engle will be back when students return, and we can't wait to bring you your news again.
Everyone stay safe, happy Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and we'll see you soon.
You're watching Eagle Engle, where it's your campus,
your news. Good night.